Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can all see what we'll be presenting today. All right, here we go. So welcome to this webinar where we will be discovering the power of collaboration thanks to Beekast in Webex. I'm going to start by checking that everyone can hear and see us. And, we'll let people kind of filter in and join the webinar on their own time. So for those of you who may not know me, my name is Clara Plançon. I'm a sales marketing manager here at Beekast. And today I'm joined by Colm McNelis from Cisco. Thanks for being here, Colm.
Delighted to be here and great to meet you all.
All right, before we start, I'm going to invite you to join our Beekast session. So we have a couple activities planned for you today, so it would be great to have you join the session. There are many ways you can do this. If you have your phone with you, you can go ahead and scan that QR code, the one that I'm currently showing you on my screen. You can also go to beekast.live and type in the code 280836, or you can click on the link that Hugo is sharing with you in the chat. So Hugo will also be here throughout the webinar. Feel free to ask us questions in the chat and we'll do our best to answer all of them. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to let everyone tell us how they're feeling today. So I'm going to launch this activity and feel free to join in. We have great. For some, it may be the holidays. Adventurous, perhaps curious also to see what we'll be presenting today. And yes, also, I completely agree with you. I think we're all kind of waiting for the holidays right now. Summer vacation is going to be nice. All right, thanks for participating. And now I'm going to let Colm tell you more about Webex and their latest partnership with Beekast.
Hey, thanks, Clara. So good morning, everybody. As Clara kindly outlined, my name is Colm McNelis. I work as a business development manager working for Cisco here in Ireland. And today I'm going to talk about the future of work. And I'm sure you've all heard that terminology, future of work, hybrid work, etc. But what I want to do here today is spend some time really sharing what that's all about and doing a little bit of a level set, and then talking about the emphasis on why this is so important to you as customers, and also how we work with Beekast and how we actually enhance the experience of the future of work. But let's get into it and let's get started. So next slide, please, Clara. So what does the future of work look like? So let's go and have a look at the future of work. Next slide, please, Clara. Okay, thank you. We believe in Cisco that the future of work is hybrid. Now, what does that mean? Well, sometimes you're working from home, like Clara here on the call today. Sometimes you're working in the office, like myself. And sometimes you're in that place in between. Now, the future work or hybrid work is very much around work being an activity, and that location piece, it shouldn't really matter as long as you've got the tools to help you to drive your engagement with your customers, with your colleagues, and be able to work on a day-to-day basis. Next slide, please, Clara. Now, this is not just the industry that myself and Clara are part of, but it's, we're seeing this across the world. We're seeing increasingly employees embracing hybrid work styles or flexible work styles. And, we all kind of got a feeling as to how we got here, but let's just level set on how that actually happened. So next slide, please, Clara. So before the pandemic, if we step back before March 2020, most of us worked in the office, and then sometimes we worked remotely. And we settled for a somewhat compromised collaboration experience when we were actually doing that. And it all varied depending on the situation you were in. you're out working at home, you got your laptop, you might have your headset that plugged into the side of your laptop, and that was good enough. It was good enough type of experience. Next slide, please, Clara. So then, that 20th of March timeframe, at least here in Ireland, happened, and we all had to go home. Brought our laptops with us, set ourselves up at the kitchen table or wherever we could get a quiet space within our house. We ended up having, in my case, 2 home offices, one for myself and one for my wife, so that we could actually get work done. And we saw this happening all over the world. We saw this happening with, in education, in healthcare, in every industry that we touch. And with some of the things that we saw, some of the customers that we work with from a Cisco perspective, in one country, 500,000 students went online on one day on Webex. And that was just a dramatic shift. And it somewhat accelerated the experience towards hybrid work and the future of work. Next slide, please, Clara. So where are we today? I think everybody can agree that, as I said, that acceleration happened. And that brought a dynamic as well that good enough is simply not good enough. We need to be able to have the experience of being able to work from anywhere in that hybrid world, in that future of work world, with the collaboration tools at your fingertips to allow you to be productive, to work with your customers, to work with your colleagues, etc. Next slide, please, Clara. So, is hybrid work harder to adjust to? Well, in some respects, we need to help use technology to take the friction out of that work experience. Next slide. Now, one statistic that, sorry, if you could return to the previous one there. One statistic that jumps out at me every time I, present this is this 98% number. So, and maybe we should need to remove the remote aspect to it, because the word remote becomes a bit nebulous in some respects. It's just people working together. But people need to be able to have the experience, whether they're on the road, at home, in the office, or wherever else. And say, for example, with Cisco, some of the things that we're doing from a innovation perspective is like working with NASA on the latest project to send people to the moon, work in space. It just, work just becomes an activity, not a location. But you need also to be able to ensure that those people who are in those locations have an equal status with regard to everybody else as they work. So what are our customers asking for? Next slide, please. So what are our customers asking for most? Well, when we speak to our customers are looking for a blueprint or a tapestry for hybrid work. They want a single solution with a common experience, whether they're in the office, whether they're remote, or wherever they are. We hear customers say they need a solution that needs to be simple and available on different devices. So on your laptop, on your mobile device, or when you're in an office experience, or when you're in your home office experience. And finally, they want to be able to integrate, and this is really important, with the collaboration tools into the applications that they're using at that point in time. So we need to have a rich, open set of interfaces and experience to plug the experience into those environments for our customer. So next slide, please, Clara. So let me show what that actually looks like to give you a feel for what that experience, and a video is always a great way to articulate that experience.
How do you elevate hybrid work?
Okay, Webex, start my meeting.
Looks noisy over there.
Can you hear me okay?
I can only hear you. Any questions? Let's take a poll.
So, folks, you want to share the slides there again? Clara,
Absolutely.
please. So, folks, I hope you got a good feel with regard to what that experience looks like, what the reality of that experience for what it can be, and whether you're in the office, whether you're at home, or as I said, in that place in between. Now, linking back to the last point we made, customers have stuff, applications, experiences on their desktop. And it's really important from a customer's perspective to be able to link those experiences into collaboration tools such as Webex Meetings, messaging, and calling. And this is part of the great partnership we have with Beekast, being able to bring those experiences into the Beekast application where you work on a day-to-day basis. So to learn a little bit more about this, I'm going to hand over to Clara. And thanks very much for the opportunity to speak to you today. And over to you, Clara.
Thank you so much. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how you can add Beekast in your Webex meetings to really boost engagement and collaboration during online or hybrid meetings. I wanted to start by a quick activity to see who here has already used Beekast. So perhaps some of you are already familiar with our solution. Perhaps some of you are just learning about it today. And here I can see that so far 100% of you have already used Beekast. So that's great. I think you'll all see what I'm talking about today in that case. So let's talk about Beekast in Webex. What's really great about Beekast in Webex is that now everything is going to be in the same place. Our goal was really to make your Webex meetings smoother by having Beekast directly in Webex, so you don't have to go from tab to tab. You don't have to change platforms. You can really just share everything in one space, which is going to make collaborating with your team a lot easier and also more productive. Beekast in Webex is going to offer the same features that you may already be familiar with. So for example, our automated reports, our interactive activities, even our discussion board is going to be available directly in Webex. Basically, everything you love about Beekast is now directly integrated in Webex. Now you're probably all wondering, how do I add Webex in Beekast? So it's super simple, and I'm going to share with you a quick video so that you can see what Beekast looks like in Webex, and then we'll break it down step by step. So here we go. All right, so just a quick reminder here today, we are in Webex webinars, and Beekast right now is only available in Webex meetings, which is why I can't demonstrate in our webinar today how you would add Beekast in Webex. So in order to do this, I'm going to show you through these two slides. So the general idea is that you're going to be able to go to the top part of your screen in Webex meetings and click on a share button. And then in that share button, you're going to have the option to share multimedia. A little pop-up will appear, as you can see right here. And what you'll have to do is just choose the Beekast session that you want to share. So in order to choose the Beekast session, you will have to copy the public link of your Beekast session, which is very easy to find. It's usually the link that you are going to share to participants who want to join the Beekast session. And all you'll have to do is just paste that link in the Share Multimedia little page that you're seeing right here. So it's really a 2 to 3 step process, very easy, very quick. And the second you click on OK, your Beekast session will appear in a column on the right side of your Webex meeting screen, as you can see right here. So just make sure that you are connected to your Beekast account in Webex, and then you're ready to go. Everyone will be able to have access to the session thanks to that column on the right side. And this is where you will be able to launch activities. You can access our discussion board. You can make decisions, take actions. And then all of this will be converted in an action plan, for example. What's also really great is that you can add activities in real time without ever having to leave your Webex meeting. So all of this is once again really helpful for a smoother experience. You kind of have this all-in-one solution where your user experience is just easier, smoother, and a lot more cutting edge, if you would. So to wrap it up, I think that we can all remember here today. Let me just get to the next slide. Here we go, right there. That basically with Beekast and Webex, you're going to get a lot more done without ever having to change your habits. Beekast looks and works a lot like PowerPoint or Google Slides. It's super easy to use, even for beginners. So when you're adding Beekast and Webex, we don't want you to change any of your usual habits. It's still Beekast, it's still Webex, but now you're getting the best of both worlds in one solution. So Webex is also just one of our many integrations. We're so happy to be partnering up with Webex for your meetings, but we are also embedded in PowerPoint, Google Drive, YouTube, Prezi, Genially. So make sure to check that out as well, because you're really benefiting from a complete ecosystem full of tools that you already know and that you can use in Beekast. We also have a library of templates. So when I'm talking about templates, these are ready-made activities that you can import in your Beekast presentation and then launch, and everything is already set up and ready to go, which means that you're saving a lot of time. It's really easy because you can just pick the template that matches your needs and really is able to answer your goals and just launch it for your participants. And at the end of a session, you're also saving time because you don't have to write up any meeting notes. You don't have to sum everything up. You can just generate an automated report, and that report can be exported in different formats. You can have an action plan. You can have a document Word report. You can even have statistics in Excel. And of course, now you can do all of this directly in Webex Meetings. So thank you all for joining us here today. I hope everything was clear for you. I hope we were able to give you a lot of information about Webex and Beekast in Webex. Let us know what you thought about this webinar in our little word cloud right here. And I'll look forward to any questions that you may have. A quick reminder, you will get a replay of this webinar. So stay in touch with us. We'll send it to you through email, and you'll also be able to follow us on social media on our LinkedIn page. So thank you very much for being here today.